paranormal horror author Eve S. Evans introduces a brand new spine-chilling release. Supernatural 911 Calls, available on Amazon today. First responders with any real time on the job believe in ghosts. They've experienced events they can't otherwise explain. Same with other professions that deal with injuries, accidents, or death. Police officers, firemen, 911 operators, they've seen the worst that people can do to one another, and they've all had brushes with the unexplained. Don't believe in ghosts? This book might change your mind and steal any hope of sleep. These stories are unexplainable, true accounts from first responders, police officers, firemen, and 911 operators, told from the perspective of everyday people. Every single tale between these covers is 100% true. Think you can explain them? We dare you to try.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, our buddy from Unidragon is back.
Yeah, I know.
How do you know?
Well, the owl told me.
The owl told you.
Yeah, he tells me everything. Yeah, we've talked about this guy before. He's the puzzle guy.
He's the puzzle guy. That's correct. They do, of course, have the owl, and the owl is available for you to now get with Prime free delivery.
Awesome.
We've made it easier for people to find the owl.
Yeah, I know. The owl told me about that too.
The owl did. What did the owl tell you?
He told me to go on to the Tech Time Radio website /sponsors.
Wow, the owl is just telling you everything. Well, make sure if you're purchasing the Unidragon from Tech Time Radio, again, you go to techtimeradio.com/sponsors. Make sure you use our special Tech Time code. You know what the code is, Mike?
What's the Tech Time code?
Well, on Amazon and on a purchase order through our site, use the code Tech Time.
Really?
Yeah, that's spelled TECHTIME.
Wow. Hooked on Phonics worked for you, didn't it?
And it's got a link so you can immediately click and purchase Unidragon off of Amazon. Don't get fooled by fake puzzle people out there trying to sell you imitation puzzles. Go and find the brand you can trust, unidragon.com. And again, go to techtimeradio.com /sponsors, because the owl will tell you no place better to buy it than with the Tech Time Radio code.
And there's 3 sizes.
That's right, Mike. There's 3 sizes.
Coming to you from the shores of the Pacific Northwest. Keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side. With leading edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to Tech Time Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Welcome to Tech Time Radio with Nathan Mumm, the show that makes you go, Technology news of the week. The show for the everyday common person with insightful segments on subjects weeks ahead of the mainstream media, or 7.5 months.
7.5 months.
7.5 months, as we're going to be talking about a little bit later today on the Amazon Sidewalk. All right, I'm Nathan Mumm, and welcome to our show. We are a live stream studios on Saturdays from 4 to 6 p.m. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch TV, and our home radio station, KKNW 1150 AM, or you can watch us live on our stream by going to techtimeradio.com, and in the main window there, you will see us live on Saturdays from 4 to 6 p.m. Now,
Not Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday before 4 or after 6.
that's
right?
correct. And
Did
Sunday.
I get that right? Oh,
And
I forgot
Sunday.
Sunday. Man.
That's right.
No
Those
wonder
two-
I need you to
to keep
to
that.
remind me of those days that I can't see you guys live.
That's right. So then you're going to have to watch a replay, or you don't have to watch. You will get the privilege to enjoy a replay of our show. And then you can always go to techtimeradio.com and
Shine it up, baby. Shine it up.
That's right. And see all of our blog information, our posts. You can see our whiskey picks up and down. We just had it in the first hour. And so our whiskey didn't quite make a 2 thumbs up. It was kind of a split vote there. So it'd be kind of like a boxing match where you had to go to the cards, and all of a sudden one picked one and one picked the other one. So we're not going to tell you who picked. It was a thumbs up or a thumbs down. You're going to have to watch the first hour show to know that information. All right.
Yeah, we're gonna hide that from you.
That's pretty high secret information, right?
Yeah, we better watch out, or we're gonna get hacked.
Okay, all right. We're not making fun of FireEye during this hour, so hopefully they only listen
You
to
just did.
Okay, what did I say? Okay. We're a weekly technology show that talks about current technology in a simple format. Without having to geek out, we highlight tech news for the week, along with segments that bring different perspectives and highlighted topics. Now, on today's show, we got our letter segment, reading this week's email scams and funny phishing attempts, and we got a good one.
We got a good one.
We got a good one that we already kind of read a little bit here in studio, and Mike said, "Oh, stop," because I wanted to do a genuine laugh, so I only read through about half of it. We have a feature segment with Joey Donovan, Guido or Guido. We're going to find out.
You're just going to keep repeating that.
I'm going to say either or. I don't know the last name exactly, so we're going to have essentially we'll have Joey Donovan on. There you go.
There you go.
Joey Donovan on. He is the owner of Coupa SEO Web Design and the author of the book A Holistic Guide to Online Marketing. Joey is an expert in web design, SEO, user experience, and website conversion, and he's here to tell us how to start looking at SEO for our website, like Tech Time Radio, and others. So if you have a website or you manage a website, or if you want to know anything about SEO, which stands for, what does SEO stand for?
Search engine optimization.
That's correct. Search engine optimization. We'll kind of repeat that throughout the deal, but SEO is a big name for saying that if I type something in a search bar, it will find what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
That's essentially what it is. You ever remember did you ever have web crawler as one of your search?
Oh man.
Do you remember back in the
long time ago.
Netscape times, right?
Yeah.
You had MSN,
Ask
homepage.
Jeeves. Remember Ask Jeeves?
Ask Jeeves. I remember Ask Jeeves. That was a great. You'd ask him little questions in a question format, and it would translate for you. So we're going to talk about how the web understands what you do and what you can do to help your website get taken care of in a better area. So excited to have him on. Joey's an expert in this, so he is the expert in the United States. I say there may be somebody international that's a little bit better, but he is at least the expert in the United States. Yeah, I say in the United States.
Okay.
That's what I'd say. He's that. And we have our technology insider reviewing a thing called Amazon Sidewalk, which we featured in Tech Time Radio episode 16. We're on 52.
Yes.
And from September 29th, 2020. And the information that we're going to be talking about today, since it's all out in the news and everybody's asking, I have so many people that have asked me about Amazon Sidewalk. And I'm like, we talked about it 7.5 months ago. And so we're going to repeat essentially the same stuff that we talked about 7.5 months ago, because that information that we had and the due diligence that we did was really good. And so we're just going to go through and kind of review that again. Welcome to Hour 2. I am your host. Now, we are going to give away a shirt.
This is Nathan Mum, by the way.
What was that?
You are the host, Nathan
I am the
Mum.
host, Nathan Mum. Did I say that?
You didn't say who you were.
I am the host.
We just
Nathan
want to
Mum.
make sure we got your name.
Okay, thank you, Nathan Mum.
You're welcome.
It's
I'm Mike.
Oh, you're Mike?
Yeah.
Mike Renee, look at that. You have a nice shirt, Tech Time Radio
I
with
do.
Nathan
I
Mum.
have my nice Tech Time Radio polo on today, which is probably the only time you'll ever see me wear this.
No, it looks good on you. You should wear it more often.
I'm not a big polo fan. But
It actually looks good on you. So as much as you say that, you should probably wear it.
well, maybe if
quite a
the
bit more.
ladies tell me it's good.
If the ladies tell you it's good? Okay.
Then I might wear it again.
You might wear it again? So it has to
you
be the
know.
ladies. So that they all start chatting right now. So go to twitch.tv and say, Mike, you look really sexy in your outfit. There you go. Okay.
There you go.
All right. So we have a shirt that we're going to give away. It is the Do Not Disturb gaming mode activated. We talked about gaming.
I like that.
And what does it have right in the middle? It has the little Tech
That's
Time
the
logo.
Tech Time Radio.
So we're going to be giving this away.
the round one, not the square.
So we got a couple of different variations. It's got the round one.
I want to see the Hooked on Phonics one.
That's coming out too. We have a Hooked on Phonics one, and we have a couple other sarcastic little sayings. So we're going to give away the T-shirt. You're going to want to call it 425-373-5527 or 1-888-298-KKNW, which is 1-888-298-5569 to have a chance to win that. And when I say call in now, the first caller will receive that shirt. David will be ready to go on the board. Okay. We got through page 1, page 2. Now, welcome, Mike Renee and David Brown.
You're
to start-
literally reading the page numbers.
I did. Okay, so I'm just seeing where I need to move to. Hey, our first hour, we were really on time today. We started that first 5-minute segment right on time.
Yeah, it got to where we got to my mesmerizing moment, and we are like, oh, crap, what do we got to talk about?
Yeah, we got a little bit more time
got
than
a
we
little more
normally do.
time.
We're going to have to actually have that ready to go. So we have the Love Shack on KKNW from Thursdays from 1 to 2 p.m. They are kind of, I wouldn't say sister show, but we do a lot of collaborating together in the radio environment. So Mike's been on their show. We meet on a monthly basis to talk about how to improve radio, how to do different stuff. So they're kind of a partner. They sent us their conversational cards because they're like love doctors.
They're all about relationships.
Relationship. And there's a great commercial coming on up in commercial break 7. I don't want to give it, but it's all about Love Shack and Mike and a bunch of stuff.
It's the same one.
The same one, yeah,
It's the same
absolutely.
one.
It's fantastic. So here we
They're
go.
going to have to get me on their show again.
They are going to have to. All right, name a current event that has changed the way you think.
Is COVID not enough?
Okay, well, that's yours. Okay, so we'll go to you, Mike, first. What is the current event that's changed the way you think? COVID? Explain that to me.
It's changed the way we all think.
Okay.
It's given us all a different new perspective on how to be, how to act, how to adapt. I mean, from a human behavior standpoint, this is the last year and a half has offered us a lot of information about what we have the potential to do and what we are stuck at. You know, all the craziness that has gone on, and it's a unique period of time in our generation. This stuff has happened before,
Correct.
and it is
Like 100 years ago type
yeah,
deal.
and it has created the same effects, right? So, you know, what we're seeing like now, we're seeing that people are actually having anxiety about going back to normal, right? So
Like the reset, right? Some people just want to forget a year and a half happened.
Yeah,
right?
a lot of people when this first happened, we had a lot of resistance to change. Now we've adapted a little bit to the system over these past months. And now when we think about going back to normal, we have a lot of resistance going back to normal.
Okay.
And that's an interesting view of human behavior.
That is. That's really philosophical. I'm glad you did that one. All right, we're going to go to David next.
I think about this crap all the time.
I know. I was going to say, this is right up your alley. You're like fantastic. We go another hour and a half on this. All right.
Yeah, we could.
All right. Name a current event that has changed the way you think, David. We're going to go to you next.
Well, this one's going to be a little personal, and it only goes back to actually this morning, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
It was my only daughter's high school graduation this morning. So now I have to think, oh my, I have a high school graduate at home now.
Did she get to do an actual graduation?
Yeah, she was able to do a mini graduation because they divided the entire alphabet up into 7 groups. And of course, with our last name, Brown, we were in the first group, so we had to be there at 8 a.m. this morning. But yeah, she actually got to walk.
That's good.
Got their name announced, walk across the stage, go to the other side, get her picture, get lined up, and head out. It was a quick ceremony. It wasn't, obviously a long one.
Did they have a valedictorian talk at all 7 of these things?
No, what they did is they had a student for each one to just basically do the tassel churn, like say, now you can churn your tassel, and that was about it.
Did she throw her hat up in the air?
Yeah, she did. Even though there was a tent, she couldn't throw it up very far because she was under a tent.
Okay.
Yeah.
My daughter didn't get a graduation.
She graduated last year?
She graduated last year. We had to actually go to the school, drive through the school. She had to get out. She had to go get her diploma, and then she got pictures, and then we got in the car and left. And
so she had no graduation.
So there was no group graduation.
Wow.
That's it's kind of.
Did you at least get the video of everybody later? Because I remember they did that for the 2020 kids last year at our school.
Yeah, we had a video of her accepting all this stuff, but we don't. There was
don't get the big group one?
There was no group
Yeah, it
thing.
started with a video this morning, and then each of the 7 groups, her group I swear only had like 25, 30 kids. It seemed like
Wow.
It was very short, sweet, and of course a little sad. But I'm still proud of her.
That's a very proud. That's a very proud.
Yeah.
I remember my graduation. Yeah, those were back in the hellion days, right? I mean, you graduated and then you got on a bus and we went down to Wild Waves and we had a party all night long.
We had what's called project graduation, where they had they set up. We were all locked on campus.
Okay.
And we partied all night doing stuff like gambling. They had a gambling room,
Okay,
and then they had game rooms. And
did you have someone bring illegal alcohol in?
I will never tell.
We did. We did.
Yeah, I remember the all-night
Are you
party.
serious?
For me too.
Absolutely. We're at
there-
Wild Waves. We're at Wild Waves, man. There was lots of alcohol.
There is no way that none of that stuff gets.
Yeah, no, I mean, and it had to have been planned by some adult or something like that.
Oh,
So it was
yeah.
very well organized too. So.
Well, yeah.
So-
we had adults running around chaperoning everything, but
we had like 6 or 7 chaperones. I don't know what they were doing. They were
my
probably
own
over there
father
getting
was
drunk,
a
too.
chaperone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. All right,
There you go.
so what current event that has changed the way you think? Man, so I just have to probably say COVID also. I mean, it's a real deep process of what we did. Our kids are already graduated, so I'd say COVID-19 was a big deal. It's kind of made our family closer, just the real connection to our family, immediate family. And then everybody else kind of was on like a pause, right? I mean, it kind of was like a Rachel and Ross Geller break, right? So it kind of
we were on a break.
We were on a break. It all kind of
Who
just
were you
stopped.
cheating on?
That's right. We just all stopped doing everything, and now it's all coming back. I'm glad that people are getting vaccinated now, though, and they're getting back.
And that's
into
what. Yeah, that was. You mentioned that earlier. Where there are people that are literally trying to block this out of their lives.
Yeah, it's like it didn't happen, right?
Yeah, like
we
it didn't
talked
happen.
about that. So it
Yeah.
didn't happen. So this year and a half just disappears, and I've had a couple people come up to me.
And
and
this is actually kind of reminiscent of things like an ancient Egyptian, in ancient Egypt.
Yeah.
If they didn't like the pharaoh,
yeah,
they would literally go back and erase him from history.
And then
they
just
would
have somebody else.
They would take off his names off of cartouches, off of buildings and things and stuff, and they would pretend like he never existed.
that's right. All right, well, let's
So,
move on to our
COVID is the pharaoh of our modern
that's
day.
it is. All right, let's move on to our opening segment, which we call letters.
We get letters. We get back and back of letters. Ah, letters. We get letters. And the letters all have songs.
I love that.
You love that. All right, here we go. We're only going to go through two because we want to move on to our segment. And that was a little long on our first segment, but that was fantastic. Okay, so here we go. Email service from Lori Moore at hotmail.com. Please log in to update your information. Nathan Mum at hotmail.com. Dear valued user, starting on 11th, January 2021, MSN customers who have not confirmed their email accounts will no longer be able to access them through email addresses.
Really?
We are currently checking on email servers and deleting all inactive users. Kindly confirm that your email is active by logging in to validate your account. And of course, they send us a link that goes to not Microsoft, but somebody completely different that asks us to type in our username and password. Please do not reply to this email. Mail sent to this address cannot be answered. Customer ID number 1029. Thank you for choosing MSN IT Security Help Desk.
All right. So what are they after? In this?
They're after my username and password so that they can then log into my MSN account, which I don't even have an MS account. I do have a Hotmail account, but not an MSN account, and get access to my email and then cause me grief by reading my email and forwarding and spamming other people.
All right.
All right. Story number
Which
two.
is funny because, it's all about the active. We talk about these scams where they're looking for your active email users.
Yep.
And they're basically telling you, oh, this is what we're actually looking for, active email users.
Correct.
Here, put in your information.
Yeah, so dumb thing to follow. But this is the best one, though. This is my best. We were
Yeah,
talking
this
about.
is- this is the fun
This
one.
is fantastic. I received an email titled "To Nathan Mum at Hot." So to my Hotmail account. I always say that. That's all right. You can send me
You
emails.
might as well send him emails.
Okay,
'Cause he's
so-
already said you've already said your email.
That's
like
right.
a
Okay,
bunch of
Fire
times.
Eye. There you go. You can send me lots. All right. So to Nathan at Hotmail, winning. The title of this is "Winning Amount." This is from Mark Zuckerberg.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Mark
Mark
Zuckerberg sent me an email. Winning amount. My name is Mark Zuckerberg, a philanthropic founder and the CEO of a social networking website called Facebook,
As if you didn't know.
as well as one of the world's youngest billionaires and chairman of the Mark Zuckerberg Charitable
How
Foundation.
about that? Your name drop. He's name dropping himself.
So he's really happy about himself.
Yeah.
One of the largest private foundations in the world. I believe strongly in, so they misspelled giving. So I believe strongly in Jeeving well living. I have idea that can change in my mind. So again, the spelling always.
How
makes
about that grammar?
Yeah, always makes it, Grammarly.
Grammarly, buddy.
That's right. That you should use your wealth to help people, and I have, lowercase I, have decided to secretly give you $1.5 million to randomly selected individuals to give to you $1.5 million to randomly selected individuals worldwide.
That's really awesome. He's going to give you 1.5 million instead of spending it on a
On
hydrofoil surfboard.
Over in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Yeah. On receipt of this email, you should count yourself as the lucky individual. Your email address was chosen online while searching at random. kindly get back to me at your earliest convenience. I know your email address may not be valid if you send back to this email, so send it to
man. Hey, Mark.
So send it to M. Zuckerberg, Suckerberg 2444 at gmail.com.
No, I got.
So all of a sudden, Facebook owner isn't going to have his own Facebook account. He's going to go to Google, a big competitor of his, and create a M. Zuckerberg 244 at gmail.com.
That's awesome, Mark. That's awesome, man.
Email me.
Send me a check at PO Box number.
Email me. Visit the webpage to know more about me at http://wikipedia.com/Mark Zuckerberg. So I mean, it's or you can Google me, Mark Zuckerberg, to make sure you know this is true. Regards, Mark Zuckerberg.
Wow, that's a lovely one.
So I immediately got on and I responded.
I would have.
I sent an email to mzuckerberg244 at gmail.com and said, I'm so excited that you selected me out of all the random emails in the world, and you're going to give me $1.5 million.
That's right. How many emails are there in the world?
How many?
There's upwards of 7.5 billion people in the world, right? So
let's say half.
How many?
Let's just say half people in the world.
How many emails do you have?
I have probably about 10.
10.
Yeah.
So if we take an average of 2 to 3 per person.
Yeah.
And we,
some people may not have email.
Amount of people.
Yeah.
We're still talking about billions of emails.
So I was that lucky person. Forget winning the lotto.
That's right.
He selectively sent it to me.
Out of billions of email addresses.
So again, what are they trying to get at? They're trying to get that I must be completely naive, and I'm going to send an email that validates that I have an active email to mzuckerberg2444 at gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
And then essentially they will have my email address knowing that it's an active email. So it's probably a waste. It's an active email.
That's a very large letter in order to find out if you have an active, because you can do it. He's on Wikipedia. Ways. It's true that he sent you an email.
That's correct. Because you just can't cut and paste somebody else's Wikipedia
I'm Mark
page.
Zuckerberg.
You got my word.
I have a
right?
Wikipedia address. I have a Google email. I'm for real.
That's right. Okay. Well, I have a bunch of other ones too, but essentially they're all the same thing. I have Farmers Insurance, which isn't Farmers Insurance. It's John Hood at someplace else trying to get me to sign up for some insurance processes. And he's taken a lot of time. He can save me millions of dollars in insurance over my lifetime if I just take care of it. And I got somebody
let Geico know.
Yeah, and then I got somebody that has a huge. I mean, look at this email address. That's just crazy. I mean, look at that. There's like 87 characters. If I had to actually type that out, I would never get. I mean,
QXVUNBZ00.
Yes.
Wow. At shimmeringwaves.com.
Yes, and they're having what they say there. I can't believe this happened. Microsoft is blocking these images. Click on this doc file to see these images. So when you click on that, essentially you're loading a virus into your machine.
There you go. Yeah.
So that would be a bad thing to do.
So what's the takeaway here?
Takeaway is Mark Zuckerberg.
When Mark Zuckerberg sends you an email, ignore him.
That's right.
And never click on a doc file.
That's or any
attachment that somebody asks you to.
It sends from some crazy email address.
That's right. And don't answer it. Just
delete those.
Just delete those.
Yeah. All right. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come on back, we're excited to have our guest that will be joining us. He is an expert in SEO search optimization, and he is the author of the acclaimed book, The Holistic Guide to Online Marketing. We'll see you after this break.
Upper Left Corner is a PNW true crime podcast now streaming on all major podcast platforms. If you get excited when your favorite true crime podcast tells a story about a place that you've been to or the town that you live in, then Upper Left Corner podcast is for you. Each week, I tell you a story of a crime that has taken place in the PNW and give you background about the town the crime occurred in. If you like true crime, check out Upper Left Corner podcast, now available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and more.
Ace Hardware is a helpful place with prompt, friendly service, knowledge, and the little things that make a big difference.
Service.
Selection.
Advice.
Community involvement.
Competitive prices.
Convenience.
Located near you.
And the things you need, such as
house keys,
lawn and garden,
plumbing,
electrical,
hardware,
grills,
outdoor living supplies,
and even nuts and bolts.
When you visit Ace Hardware, you'll be greeted at the door and given the help you need.
So come visit us at Ace Hardware in Evergreen Way in Everett, Lake Stevens, and now Stanley.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
This is your jam music. You like this music.
This is some good music.
Would you listen to this on your motorcycle if you're driving around?
I don't listen to music while I'm riding around on my motorcycle.
You have to keep both eyes and everything alert, right?
That's where I turn off my brain and just watch what's going on.
All right. Well, welcome back to Tech Time Radio. We are going to have our expert on search engine optimization, which is called SEO, is going to be joining us. And he is going to be joining us on our segment we like to call Ask the Expert.
This is a segment we call Ask the Experts.
You do that every time.
I do.
Every time.
I'm supposed to, David's all over it too. He's supposed to be able to get that. And he would have just got it without me saying, ask the expert.
I know.
And then
I'm going to give him some old-fashioned erasers.
Yeah.
And he can just throw them at your head when you do stuff like that.
The pink ones?
Yeah.
Okay. Ow, there you go.
Yeah,
there you
bounce
go.
off.
All right. Well, we're really excited. So the first thing I'm going to have to ask, we're bringing up our guest. We got to make sure we get his name right. So it's either Joey Donovan Guido or Guido. So, Joey, we're bringing you on up. Well, how do I pronounce your last name? Because I've been butchering it all hours on the show.
Yeah, well, hey, so the whole thing is both are actually correct. So what happened was when my great-grandparents came over from Italy, it was Guido. And of course,
he's a mob boss. That's what I said on the first hour.
Well,
that's Guido, the mob boss name, right?
Man, this is about SEO.
Okay. Sorry, that's not about SEO. That's right. It's not about mob boss stuff.
Dude,
but no, I'm not a mob boss.
You're butchering it worse.
Okay, am I butchering it worse?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so first thing okay, keep on telling me. I'm sorry.
So it was Guido, and then my great-grandparents changed it to Guido to Americanize it. So it's been actually a controversy within the family. So but I'm really not mad. So don't be nervous.
Okay.
So what do you prefer?
I say Guido.
Okay.
Guido.
So, because you were asking me which one it was.
Yeah, we kind of said both of those too. Yeah. So that was pretty good. So
I told you that Guido was the Americanized version.
That's correct. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. Now, where are you joining us from to let everybody know?
I am in Madison, Wisconsin.
Okay. So my very first question.
Cheese.
Yes, right. See, I'm going right to football because I'm a big football fan. All right. So are you an Aaron Rodgers fan or a Brett Favre fan for the Green Bay Packers?
Well, I'm originally from New York and sadly am probably a Jets fan.
Oh, he's a Jets. Oh, man. So you're like waiting for your third win in the last 10 years still to come, aren't you?
Exactly.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. What? The Jets are just Jets. Jets is not very good. They got rid of their quarterback and now they're starting over again. So maybe you guys get it this year. Okay. All right. Well, so you're not a big cheesehead. So in Wisconsin. Okay. That must be very careful to walk outside to say that, because if you tell anybody that, you're probably going to have your...
He's coming across in the Pacific Northwest, so nobody cares. Here.
That's right. Okay. All right. That's right. Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. Now, tell us a little bit about your company, and I got tons of questions to ask regarding SEO, which is search engine optimization, and a website interface. Tell us a little bit about your company, where you work with, and then I'm going to start quizzing you on our 20 questions that we have here for you.
Yeah, sure. So Kappa SEO Web Design has been around since 2013. We're a team of 10, and we specialize in building custom websites, optimizing those websites, and making it really easy for the website visitors who show up to feel comfortable, to feel at ease, and to take that next step in becoming a client.
Okay.
So that's a lot of fun. I also do speaking and consulting, and as you've mentioned a couple times, I've written a book.
That's correct. All right. So let me ask you. Well, here's our questions, and you haven't seen any of these questions. This is what we do with every guest. So we make sure we ask them.
This is the Nathan interview.
I spend a lot of time trying to get these questions so that they can kind of be with the guest and do research on the guest, and then we always like to explore a little bit of outside the information too. So who was your childhood hero that you had growing up, and why?
See, I told you.
I know.
Probably Spider-Man.
Oh, a Spider-Man. Okay, and why did you like Spider-Man?
Well, in one sense, I grew up with a superhero complex, trying to be like superhuman in certain ways. Okay. But I think what I liked the best about him was his human side, his imperfections. And coupled with that, his desire to do good in the world.
Okay. So are you with the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man? You got the or the Garfunkel or whatever that guy's name is.
Garfunkel.
Toby. Definitely Toby.
Okay, so you're a Toby fan?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. All right, then we can continue on. That's fantastic then. Okay, so all right, when making a website, going into your business and information, what is the first thing that you should always do in the first step of designing a website or creating a website?
Okay, so first step for the client?
Yeah. So if I was to create a website, what would be your advice to me? The first thing that I should do regarding creating a website, what should I do?
Yeah, the first thing you want to do is make sure you have your clients or your customers well defined.
Okay.
So there's different names for this that are fancy names like personas and things like that. But really what it comes down to is understanding who your clients are and what pain points are they experiencing. Another way of looking at it is what benefits do we offer that they actually need? And we want to build that whole website, the aesthetic of the website, the content or the words on the website. We want to drive everything toward that user.
Okay.
And making it clear to them, hey, we can help you with. Make it about them.
Make it about them.
Not you. Yeah.
Okay, so let's say we have a radio show. So our website's techtimeradio.com, right? So we have that. So our audience, when we did some of our designing on that, our audience would be listeners or fans, and we really wanted them to be able to receive our show and information, whether it's YouTube or in audio format, the first thing for our website. So would we have done that right by trying to gear the first information to them on that aspect, or is that not how I should have done it?
Well, it sounds like you did it fine. So you asked them basically which they preferred, or if they were able to view or listen to both.
So we asked a segmented, not because we didn't have very many listeners at first. We asked a segmented of about 20 people. What if they were going to go to a techtimeradio.com website? What would they like? And they said they really didn't care about like merchandise. They really didn't care about a bunch of other stuff, which we now have on our website, just as we've expanded. But they said if we want a website, we want to stay in kind of your ecosystem and be able to either watch video or listen to your audio. Those were the two things that they asked.
Got it. Okay, that's wonderful, actually. Kind of polling your clients, your audience is very good. And interestingly enough, a lot of businesses fail to do that. They sometimes will assume what they think their clients want, or think they know, or hope that they're going to like a product that's coming out. And it's so simple to engage and ask them. And also, once you reach out, you've kind of developed that relationship a little bit more. You've shown that you actually care about what they have to say. So that I think they're going to be, in your case, much more likely to tune in.
Okay. So let me ask you about, there's so many devices nowadays, right? Is it important to make a website that's mobile friendly or any of those aspects? Or do you just kind of make a website and hopefully they scroll through? Tell me, is there a big push to mobile? What should I do regarding that?
Yeah, so it must have been, my goodness, maybe around 8-ish years ago, there was something called Mobilegeddon, which you may remember, where Google one day said, hey, you have until this date until your website has to be mobile friendly. Otherwise, we might penalize you for that. And the funny thing is, we've been building sites even before that so they're mobile friendly because it is important. Forget about Google for a minute, right? It's important to that person who shows up on their iPhone, on their Android, on their iPad. We want to make sure when they show up that user experience is as positive as possible, right? So they can feel grounded. They can feel like, hey, I feel good on this website. They may not know why, but it's a place they want to stick around. So yeah, super important.
Super important. So let me ask you. So I used to have a Wix website. That's probably like your worst website. You're going to say it's and so it was easy to configure, but then I had a bunch of problems. What type of platforms do you recommend for people if they're creating a website that is easy to use and configurable? What would be some of your top recommendations?
Yeah, so 95%+ of the websites we build are WordPress based. And what's nice about it is that we custom build them, but the user, the customer, can use them very easily. The interface is very similar to Microsoft Word. right? And when we build a site, we do all the geeky stuff for them, so they don't have to worry about backing up their site and things like that. But WordPress is nice because there's not like gobbledygook or code on the page. You log in, you go to the page you want to affect or start a blog post to write, and you just write it.
So we moved our website
we just moved it to WordPress.
We just moved it to WordPress. Yep. So we started with Wix. It was really nice at first, and then it was really cumbersome on some of the mobile aspects and some of those, and then we moved it to WordPress, and I've been really happy with it. Again, I paid for a professional to outline it, right, so that I can just go underneath pages and do a lot of modification. But they used a whole bunch of templates and self-created certain stuff. Now I don't know if it's SEO optimized, because whenever I look over on the SEO stuff, which again is search engine optimization, I get a bunch of red lights and a bunch of stuff. So I think I'm probably losing out on some of the advantages I can to go to a green light, which I think means that it's really optimized. So we're gonna have to figure out, Joey, and we're gonna have to have you take a look at our site to help us get a bunch of green lights. Okay, so next thing, the web can be accessed on mobile-friendly devices, and specifically when you have companies that you're working with for SEO, does it make a difference if Google likes your SEO or if Microsoft likes your SEO or Yahoo or any of these search engines? Is there independently different on how they pull your information, or is SEO used as a standard across all the internet?
Yeah, so that's a great question. And when we optimize a website for a client, Google is king. Okay. So those are the ones that we have to kind of please, so to speak. And a lot of people get upset about that because there are a lot of contingencies and rules in place. But my philosophy has always been, look, Google sometimes tells us what those rules are, so let's utilize them to our advantage instead of complaining about it. What I found across the board is as long as we're compliant with Google, all the other search engines like Bing and real tiny ones that nobody's ever even heard of, it all works across the board. Does SEO matter? Like with Google? Yes. I mean, that is the reason for SEO. That's why it exists, is to help a business, large or small, get found by search engines like Google, who's kind of like a matchmaker between someone who enters a phrase for something like ice cream or a web designer. Google goes and says, okay, well, Joey's looking for ice cream in Madison, Wisconsin. What are the best results we can give him so he can find what he's looking for?
So that makes sense. So thinking about that then, SEO keywords, is it very important to be on Google's first page, second page, third page? Does it make any difference? Sometimes I hear people say you want to be on page 1. I hear other people say, well, page 2 is fine too on certain words. What is your ranking process? What is considered a good SEO page to find your information on Google?
Yeah. So page 1 is always the goal, and that is the best. First on page 1, of course, is the holy grail. But depending on a client's size and how long they've been in business, sometimes first isn't quite possible in a quick manner. But we always shoot for page 1, and most of the time we get our client there. Now, there's kind of a caveat here because we've got SEO on the website, right?
Yep.
And getting somebody to page 1. A lot of times, if somebody doesn't find what they're looking for on page 1 when they're searching, they might go to the second or third page. But most likely, because Google is so good at pairing the search query up with good results, most of the time people don't need to go to a second or at least a third page.
Okay.
What a lot of business owners don't know is there's something called Google My Business. And we all know what it is. You search for something and get this map at the top of the page, right? And under the map is 2 or 3 listings, Cup SEO Web Design, and some competitors of mine that we won't mention. Usually sit below me in that 3-pack is what they call it. And this is another opportunity, something else that needs to be optimized so that you show up within that 3-pack in more of a regional aspect, right? It's really for localized regional businesses that do most of their business in a county or in a state or a tri-state area.
Okay.
That is another way to get clients up there. And especially like, let's say you're the corner hardware store.
Yep.
You're not going to compete with Lowe's and Home Depot.
Correct.
And Menards. You're just not. Okay. but we can use keyword phrases, right, that they don't care about, but that a lot of local people might.
So
searching
like
for a
Seattle,
local hardware.
yeah, you do Seattle hardware store. Maybe that comes on up and that you're on that page
Right.
instead of
Right.
just hardware store.
Exactly. Seattle, different iterations of that. Let's say you've got like a chain and you're in like 4 or 5 cities
Yep.
in the state. We want to kind of key in on all those. And it's all legitimate. It's all totally what they call white hat. You don't get in trouble for it. It's really just like anything else in life. The better information you give to Google through the SEO, the better results that you're going to get. People are going to find you more easily.
Okay, perfect. All right, so we're going to need to take a break, but I'm going to ask you a question. We're going to take a break, and then hopefully you come on back. Here is my question to ask. All right. What is the most important part of a website to focus on to get traffic? All right, so think about that. We're going to go take a commercial break. When we come on back, we will continue our interview with Joey talking about SEO, user experiences, and a bunch of other questions that I have coming on up. We'll see you after the break.
Hello, my name is Arthur, and my life's work is connecting people with coffee. Story Coffee is a small batch specialty coffee company that uses technology to connect people to each product resource, which allows farmers to unlock their economic freedom. Try our Medium Roast Founder Series coffee, which is an exotic bourbon variety that is smooth, fresh, and elegant at storycoffee.com. That's STORI coffee.com. Today you can get your first bag free when you subscribe at storycoffee.com with code TECHTIME. That's STORI coffee.com.
Hi, this is Lisa Downs, host of Reigniting You, a new show here on KKNW that explores a variety of topics and timely issues for making mid to late career transitions. I'll be here every Wednesday afternoon at 3 o'clock bringing you guest interviews, career transition advice, and great stories to guide you to what's next in your career and life. Gain a renewed sense of purpose for your next phase with a positive, forward-looking approach. Get ready to be re-energized, recharged, and reignited Wednesdays at 3 o'clock.
Welcome back to Tech Time Radio with Nathan Mumm. We're going to go right back into our interview that we're really excited about, that I asked Joey regarding a question regarding the most important part of a website.
Well,
what?
So, I'm sitting here, and we all know that I'm not the tech guy.
Well,
right? I know a little bit about this stuff, but we're talking about things that just, if I want to build a website, I have a company and I want to build a website, and SEO, I get like 50 million people telling me they can be SEO experts and all this stuff. I have no idea what that means. What is the takeaway that I can have to make this a lot simpler for me to understand?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. And, I would say the best takeaway for someone who is considering engaging with a web design firm who says, and I'm going to put that in quotes, they say they do SEO, because many don't.
Mm-hmm.
They just say they do because they know they need to. That's like me saying I can operate on your brain because I have one.
I like that analogy. That's a pretty good one.
I do that all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, but good luck surviving that. And it's the same as good luck to you if you hire someone who really doesn't know what they're doing. So I think I'm going to riff on your question a little bit, Mike, and is how do you know if somebody actually knows their stuff? And one of the questions you can ask, is that okay if I riff on you a little bit there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So one of the questions you can ask is, proof is in the pudding. Show me actual Google Analytics to prove, like, before and after. A website or 4 or 5 websites that you've worked on. Show me how much traffic they were getting, traffic being website visitors who came to that site as a whole versus how many came after. If we wanted to get more geeky, which I know we're not going to do, I think I'm doing a good job of not getting geeky.
You're good. You're doing well. You're doing perfect.
Yeah,
Yep.
I am a total geek about this stuff.
Yep.
But, and let's face it, most people other than me and my team aren't geeky about this. So how do you know? You ask them, hey, show me some actual case studies. Give me some referrals. Turn the screws on them a little bit, because they can say anything they want. And if you don't know what they're talking about, and they sound good, you're kind of like, oh, yeah, that sounds great. It's like the car that looks great, and then you go to drive it away, and the engine's a piece of crap.
This is like the let the buyer beware thing.
Right. Another thing you can do is ask them, you don't need to know, what are you planning on optimizing on my website? What regions or what areas of my website are you going to optimize? That's a good question to ask. And if they start to choke on their answer, maybe that's not the right firm to use. One more good question is, when you're engaging with them, is to say, do you guys do keyword reports? If you do keyword reports, how do you do them? A keyword report is kind of like, you talked about football earlier. It's your playbook. You base everything on SEO through that keyword report. And you have got to have like top level on target keywords and keyword phrases that absolutely know through research that Google tells you, hey, X amount of people are looking for these terms. There's a lot of competition for it. There's not a lot of competition for it. Sometimes it's in the middle. But asking questions like that and just seeing how they react.
Is the best way to go about that.
Yeah.
It's funny because, he's talking about the human behavior aspect. You're asking him questions and engaging the human behavior.
Which is good. Yeah. So the person that did our website, she's a great gal and did a very good job. She said that she wasn't really good at SEO. So really up front, she said, you know what, I'm really good at design work. I can put an implementation into WordPress and some forms. And then the SEO stuff, please find an expert that does it so that they can help with SEO to get those things taken care of, which I actually was one of the reasons I decided to go with her, because they actually said, you know what, I'll do really good on some design work, but you know what, the SEO stuff, you should probably see another expert.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's I find sometimes rare.
It is very rare because I know enough about technology that I know some SEO stuff too, and I said, okay, well, let's do this and let's do this.
Yeah, it's the same thing in my realm too. We talk all the time about all these coaches coming out of the woodwork. And,
that's there's a coach on every corner right now.
There's a coach on every corner, and I get so frustrated because I spent so many years studying and working in this field, and these guys come along and they're telling me all this stuff, and I'm like, no,
not really. So then what's then Joey? What's a cost? Let's say I have a website. I got 6 or 7 pages on there. What would be an estimated cost to engage somebody and to do some SEO work on an engagement process? If I did to your company or prestigious company, what should I expect to pay?
Yeah, that's a great question too. And you're going to find it runs the gamut. Some people who are just starting out with SEO, who are trying to get clients, might really lowball their own pricing. But let's take Cup SEO web design as an example, because I can give you some pretty accurate numbers right now. So let's say you have a 5-page website, and let's say it's with the person you built it with. So you're happy with the site. It's built well. It's got a good user experience, which is super important. That's a positive, negative, or neutral experience somebody has when they show up on the site. Of course, we're always shooting for positive.
Yep.
But sometimes developers don't know what that means, and they overdevelop, and there's moving parts and moving things, and it's like, just unattractive noise. But if it's a 5-page website and your content or your words on the page are solid and they're customer facing, all about the customer, not about you, and we just need to come in and add the SEO. There are 6 key areas that we add it to, right? So the keyword report itself takes us about usually 4 to 6 or 7 hours to do. That's $800. Okay. That's a flat fee. Unless you've got a gazillion products, then sometimes it takes us longer, and we tell you that up front. So you're looking at $800, and then every single web page that we optimize takes us about 90 minutes to optimize, to actually go in there and put the SEO into every single nook and cranny. And then it takes us typically about a half hour to make that live on your site so Google sees it, right?
Okay.
So we're looking at 2 hours a page. I've been doing this a long time. So
sure.
2 hours, we charge $130 an hour. So you're looking at $260 an hour. $260 for each web page.
Okay.
So really the 5 web pages plus the keyword report, you're looking at around $2,000 plus a little project management just for phone calls and meetings, somewhere around, $2,000, $2,300, somewhere around there.
Okay. That is a key thing, because you know what, you can People can tell you they can do it for $50, $500, $800. And I'll just tell you, like my website, to develop our website, I could have gone with some knockoff place that did it overseas or someplace else, and it costs about $2,800 for techtimeradio.com. If you go and take a look at it, there was a lot of time put into it to create what we have there, and so you kind of get what you pay for. I've always said that. You want high quality and high success, you're going to have to pay a little bit for that, right? Okay.
That is true.
All right, so let's talk about, I got a couple minutes here, and then we got to go because I'm still going to have to talk about Amazon Sidewalk. Where can I find your book that has a lot of this information, and where can I go to contact you to do my SEO for my site so anybody listening to this can engage you on that also?
Yeah, absolutely. So for the book, or if you need help with your site, really everything we do revolves around helping people get found on Google. And once they get found, the next step that we work on is making sure that we're converting, it's a fancy word, converting website visitors into customers.
Okay.
Right? Because that's the goal. We want more customers. We want more clients to help. Find out how we do this at joeydonovanguido.com/overview. Everything's there that you need to know.
Okay. And we will be providing this link underneath our guests at Tech Time Radio. You'll see a picture of Joey there, and you can go and rewatch all of this interview on the YouTube post that we have there. It'll have his LinkedIn contact information and a engagement contact to that link also. So, Joey, I thank you very much for joining us on Tech Time Radio. We're going to have to get you back in a couple months again because sometimes people listen and then they tune out and then they come in back again. So I'd love to have you back, maybe talk a little bit more about your book. But I appreciate the information you gave all of our Tech Time listeners.
Yeah, thank you.
Guys, I had a great, thanks both of you. I had a great time and I'd love to come back.
All right, thank you very much. We're going to head out to break here, and when we come on back, we got Amazon Sidewalk in the last couple minutes of our show.
Hello, Seattle. How would you like to have immediate and easy access to your live EKG and heart rate data? Your data right at your fingertips and with no need to hook up wires and leads or be strapped to a machine at the doctor's office. The new Pulse device from Vivomi continuously tracks your EKG and displays this data on your mobile phone. Have you ever wondered how your EKG and heart rate behaves when you're exercising at the gym, navigating the stressful demands of the workday, or just getting the kids ready for school or relaxing at home? The Pulse is a different kind of wearable, and you can experience this difference by going to www.vivomi.com and ordering your device today.
Hey, honey, did you hear what I heard?
What's up, babe?
I heard Mike over there at Tech Time Radio. He's like battling he's in the like that the swimming with the sharks in that singles arena, if you will. You know?
Oh, bless his heart. And I also heard, like you did, that maybe things aren't going so great. You know what he needs, babe?
I think he needs to spend a little time in Love Shack.
Yeah, Love Shack. The Love Shack that airs every Thursday at 1 p.m. PST on KKNW 1150.
Come on, Mike. Come on over and join us. We got you.
Your business deserves the same expertise as that of a Fortune 500 company. If you need a CIO-level service, why hire a full-time staff member at $250,000 a year when you can get this on-demand service for fractions of the cost? As your CIO on demand, we'll give you the steps you need to take so as to minimize interruption to your business and profitability, and provide you and your business with training and education to prevent future attacks. To get an efficiency review for your business today, contact us at www.ee-services.com.
Welcome back to Tech Time Radio. I'm your host, Nathan Mumm. We got Mike Roday here and David Brown. Okay, we're going to go immediately into our next segment, which is Amazon Sidewalk is officially here. We're not even going to play the music. We're just going right into it because we're running up against time. We essentially have Amazon Sidewalk that was talked about in full detail for 27 minutes on episode 16 on September 29th, 2020. And you can find out information at youtube.com/Tech Time Radio and watch that information. But let's go very quickly what it is. Amazon is creating its own private network through all of their devices. So by default, if you have an Echo or a Ring device, you are set up right now to be using Sidewalk. Should you be using it? Well, that kind of depends because other people
you're
sharing your internet to other people around your area to use bits and pieces of your internet. Now, it doesn't come into your home network or compromise any of that, but you are giving away free internet to anybody that has that. So let's talk about what you should do.
Disable it.
Disable it. That's what we talked about last time,
That's
and
right.
that's the same information I'm going to give you this. They should go into your app on your phone, the Alexa app. Tap the More icon at the bottom right. Tap Settings, Account Settings, and Amazon Sidewalk to disable using it, and you then will be safe. We are going down. Here we go. I was Nathan Mum. I still am Nathan Mum. We got Mike Roday, David Brown behind the board. Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on Tech Time Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment in technology today. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service from Apple to Google and everything in between. And also signing up on our YouTube page, where you get to see us live in video. Yep, you can see us chat and have some fun. It's youtube.com/techtimeradio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at Tech Time Radio, remember, mum's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week.